Welcome back, my fellow consumers, and boy howdy am I going to teach you about a bit of a consumption opportunity today, because we have some absolutely fascinating financial data that we can get into that basically reveals a lot of the true business model of the games industry. Now, if you think about Take-Two Interactive, you think about Rockstar Games, right? You think about, obviously, Grand Theft Auto, and then you think about GTA Online, which is the way that they've been able to sell, I don't know, probably over 100 million copies of GTA 5 at this stage, right? I mean, that's insane. But what if I told you, who gives a shit about Rockstar, man? They're making money from something else. That is what we're going to learn about today, with the help of our sponsor, NordVPN.com/Bellular News, where you'll find my exclusive creator discount and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So just click that link down below. Now, Nord, being a VPN, gives you freedom and security, letting you browse the web from anywhere. And that lets you do quite a lot. Loads of content is region locked. I mean, even with like GDPR compliance, it's useful to have a VPN to head over to the States to actually access sites, sometimes even ones that I need for work. They can also help you use reasonable pricing to your advantage. As an example, the excellent Tom Scott, he realized, right, that whenever he flew to France and wanted to hire a car, that the prices were a total ripoff. But that if he logged in using Nord to go back home to the UK, and went to the same site, the prices would be cheaper. That's how they get you. And with Nord, he actually saved like more than the annual cost of Nord in getting a better deal on the car rental, which is hilarious. They'll also, of course, keep you safe from many different types of threats, right? Like, if somebody's making a fake Wi-Fi network to try to pwn you, but you've got your VPN on, then that's all good and safe. They've also got their dark web monitor, which is fantastic. You just add your email to it, and they'll alert you if your credentials appear in a data breach, which is great, because then the data breach won't impact you because you can be safe by updating your passwords. Security, of course, is only more and more important as time goes on, and I suppose the tools that bad actors can use get more and more powerful. That's why I use Nord. They're fantastic. The app and the browser extension are all super easy to use and set up, and you can get the exclusive offer at nordvpn.com/Bellular News with, of course, a 30-day money-back guarantee. So thanks to them for being such a long-term supporter of our team, and let's go. In the year 2022, Take-Two Interactive acquired Zynga. Yeah, Zynga. If you're about my age, then maybe you remember Farmville ripping through your school, as people around your age would quite evidently use their parents' telephone to purchase money in-game to get more impressive digital crops to, compete with their Facebook friends on. It was a pretty bizarre time, but I think one that really did have dark echoes into the future. Now, we've got a breakdown of their hoped fiscal year 2022 yearly net bookings of $5.2 to $5.25 billion. And where do they think that's coming from? Well, 2K Games? 36%. Rockstar Games? 17%. Private Division? 1%, and Zynga 46%. So Strauss Zelnick, while he has been the ageless Ubermensch that we all know from his actually not messing around, pretty solid book. He's also Mr. Mobile Games. He's Mr. Zynga now. Where's the money coming from? Well, here's some quotes. We expect recurrent customer spending to grow by approximately 85% and represent 77% of total net bookings. So if you think about that, then 23% of Take-Two Interactive, the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption people, only 23% of their revenue is from game sales. Now, obviously, that will spike up in the release year of a Red Dead, of a GTA 6 as an example, but the majority of their money is coming from Zynga's mobile games empire, and this is where we go to Zynga Vice President Gemma Doyle. She delivered a GDC presentation this year. Now, presentations made, as Razor says, for gamers, by gamers. Well, GDC is by game developers, for game developers. Often that's great, we learn a lot. Often we get to poke our heads in and learn the darker side of how the sausage is made, right? The tricks. So, this is a great article from GameIndustry.biz's Brendan Sinclair, who covered some of what was learned here, and honestly, shit's fucked. Real bad. And yeah, you know we're talking about whaling today. Right then. So, it used to be a small subset of your player base would generate a lot of your revenue. And we, they would spend money regardless, and whales were really the people who would subsidize free-to-play games for everyone else, especially, in the Western markets. This was just the cost of business. It was the way that it had to be done. This is why you get high prices for skins. This is why if you're playing Valorant and you see all of those new Counter-Strike inspired skins, you're thinking, oh my god, this isn't $19.99 for all the skins. This is going to be a lot more. Oh no, right? I mean, it's premium shit. Like, I'm a World of Warcraft player. You want a cool transmog? $20. Want a mount? $20. Want to play World of Warcraft 3 months? $20. It's weird, right? Like, buy a mount and a transmog and you've already paid for the expansion. But imagine a VIP whale. Well, that is what we learned from Gemma, and that's what I have the absolute delight, pleasure, and privilege of talking to you about today. So here's the thing. Here's the way that they've changed it up. Whales. What do you think about when you think about whales? Maybe a few funny South Park episodes, and absolutely certainly whaling. You think about whaling, right? Going for the big catch. You don't care about the small fish because you're out to get the whale. Whereas now they're redefining it to VIPs, which does make sense. I mean, do you not want your American Express, triple black, diamond, sapphire, ruby, gold, obsidian, premium platinum plus card that gives you everything that you can get at the local airport lounge, right? The idea of making people feel like the VIP, that is appealing to people at a cultural level. That is saying you are better. So she is reframing the whale, which is to be exploited, over towards the VIP. Somebody to be recognized, somebody to be rewarded, somebody to roll out the red carpet to, somebody to, pop the bottle of champagne for. So, how much are these worth to Zynga? That's the question. Well, Doyle says that in fact, 70% to 90% of their revenue comes from their VIP base. Now, to visit those numbers I just said, remember, 46% of Take-Two's overall bookings are coming from Zynga. And let's just split the middle and call it 80%. So 80% of 46% of Take-Two's money is coming from these VIP people, right? So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy. If you were to take even the base number of 70% VIPs, then you actually, when you crunch the maths, find out that for Take-Two Interactive, at 30% of their whole company's revenue is being funded by Zynga whales. Isn't that something? So, how do you get that? How do you get these whales and then convince them that rather than, meat to be hacked to pieces, blubber to be burned, bizarre soups to be made, how do you convince these whales that no, they're not going to the slaughterhouse, that they're actually very important people? Well, let's take a look then. So starting with them as a baseline for what VIPs can contribute, and then you apply the VIP program and see what funds those VIPs begin shelling out on top after their new treatment. Doyle explained the process and how the investment should be identified and managed. They identify whales in a game and run an experiment, giving the full VIP program treatment to 80% of those big spenders, while the remaining 20% get whatever the pre-existing perks for big spenders might have been. That way, they have a control group, so they know how much of a gain or loss is because of the VIP program, compared to whatever else may be going on in the game, from promotions and updates to external factors. Now remember, a video that we published very recently was about the Black Cell, the upgraded premium battle pass that exists in Call of Duty, right? Of course, you'll remember even in Diablo Immortal, you have the Battle Pass, and then you have a premium Battle Pass on top. So you're kind of looking at similar ideas here of just slicing and slicing and slicing to get the top of the top of the top of the top, and then running experiments. Because for some of these people, 50 Gs, 100 Gs, who gives a shit, right? It's crazy. It's absolute insanity. It's like the amount of money that you could probably fund an indie game with. There are people who have spent more money in Diablo Immortal as a single individual than cost our entire team to make our game, The Pale Beyond. That's mad. Anyway, to continue then. they do run these experiments, and fundamentally for them, these people are resources. They have to manage them. They have to experiment with them so that they can work out what their maximum return is. And this is all being framed in terms of profit and return, which very much is just showing us what's actually important to these companies. So how valuable is this kind of thing? Let's dive into that. So a key thing in this practice that it represents is security for the business. Adding 20 engineers to a game is, quote, an uncertain investment, but a VIP management program with defined profit margin may be more compelling. So if you're ever wondering, why does it feel like I'm being squeezed harder, but I'm not actually getting something better? Well, look at that. Explanations. So this basically, it's just a way to get the money to go up without having to invest in the fundamentals of, of the game. Now, of course, for these people, the worst thing that can happen is that your high spenders who are spending the most don't spend any more. And then maybe because your whales are no longer, giving you their blubber tithe, you're no longer making a return. You got to downsize your products. You got to kill them off. Obviously, that's something that in the realm of gacha games, like sometimes gacha games just die. And it's like, oh yeah, did you spend $5,000 in that gacha game? Yeah, sorry, it's gone. Congratulations. So, does this work? The answer is indisputably, because Doyle says that they have a 89.36% profit margin on what they spend on their VIP program. That's a high margin. That's a really, really high margin. And if you can do that by just optimizing the customers who at the end of the day, like, come on, if your whales, like, they're going to be the stickiest customers. They'll probably accept the most bullshit because they're absolutely rats within your maze. So is that going to be good for the rest of the people playing the game? No, it's absolutely not. The results of our VIP journey have been year over year when we produce the business case and said, here's the results we've gotten with X number of headcount. If you give me an additional number of headcount, this is the linear increase I expect to get. So this is just the idea of, hey, we've done the experiment. We've ran the numbers with this many people, and we know that this is the average rate of return. And we can say this with with a good degree of certainty because the experiments that we've ran, invest money, expand program, line go up. The line goes up for the line god, which is what this is all about, because it's not about making video games. It's about making numbers go up. They're all playing Business Diablo, I suppose. But they're hacking. Anyway, they say that they've done this for 3 years, and every year they've hit exactly what they said they were going to hit, and they've had continued expansion, now going into their 4th experiment, and the dream is to find exponential headcount, so more and more people to get into the VIP program. But you might be wondering, what is this VIP program? How does this work? Like, what, if I play enough Farmville to, I don't know, do you send something weird to my hotel room? What's going on? Okay, it's time to learn. It's casinos. It's casinos. There you go. Roll the outro. It's just casino stuff. Right, so casinos, what do when they find their high rollers? Those high rollers are worth so much money to the casino that the casino will give them the ultimate VIP experience, right? And people want to be a high roller because it's more than just having a good experience. It's also being the shit. You get to walk into that casino as a high roller, past all the plebeians and the, pit chiefs or whatever, and walk to the fancy land where fancy people play. And a lot of the time, people are not exactly doing that just to play the game of poker. They're doing that because the status. And that is what they're able to get here. Because all of the highest return rate businesses, they are not targeting a direct value proposition. They are, in terms of like a very logical problem, they are targeting an emotional value proposition. You might be insecure in real life and really rich, but hey, you can be a high roller in Zynga bullshit. So what do players get? You'll notice if you're maybe working in business, you're maybe signing up for SaaS programs where you see that the enterprise tier only has a few more features, but they include things like dedicated support. You look at this. So if you spend enough money in these Zynga games, you get a personal account manager. Can you imagine being a personal account manager for a Zynga game for people who spend enough money to be a VIP? That's cracked. VIP exclusive promotions and weekly sweepstakes, not necessarily for in-game content, but also free vacations and luxury cars. Yeah, and that shit works. You've probably seen a platform around the place called Omaze. Now, I don't know if there's anything good or bad about Omaze. I haven't looked into them. I will say they've landed in my inbox trying to sponsor me. To be honest, I just got really busy and I didn't really research them. So ultimately, it had to be a no. But I think the deal with Omaze is they say, hey, charity sweepstakes. Here's a house worth 5 million quid. They obviously earn a shitload more than 5 million from the sweepstakes that they sell, and that's how they raise the money for charity. They use that like big ticket, luxury experience, targeted at lifestyle idealist sort of, item to get people in the door. And it turns out that if you spend 5 million quid to give away a house, you'll raise more money for charity than just saying, hey, can I have some money to give to charity, please? That's like the model. So it's this, just instead of charity, it's Zynga's bottom line, right? They get early access to new updates. They get studio visits for personal feedback. Imagine, this is the rats coming to the people making the maze saying, hello, here are all the ways I want you to me harder. That's what they're doing. This really is, it's a sort of dark genius. It makes sense. All kind of straightforward. It's just making sure that people feel recognized and special. And do you know what the funny thing is? We're not just talking about casinos for the fun of it. Because that's Doyle's career background. This is the fun thing. Yes, these are ideas specifically earned from that setting. They've been developed by contact with Zynga's incredible volume of data analytics. It's one of the things that actually set Zynga apart in this space. Was it Mark Pincus? I forget the name of their original CEO. Anyway, the point was they invested super heavy compared to other companies in data science, and that allowed them to make, basically, very informed, cost-optimized decisions. And that's why they're able to target these people, because they have awesome data science. We've done so much experimenting at Zynga with VIP. We know what's the frequency of contact. We know what call types work. We know what times to call. We know who to call and when. We know who has a higher propensity to be more susceptible to our call. Can you imagine being a VIP, hearing Doyle say this and thinking, oh, that's grand. I'm okay with this. Yes, this is what Doyle's bragging about how thoroughly Zynga is basically able to just absolutely just rinse, just wring the last drops out of those high rollers. And as for these personal account managers, they're not just there to troubleshoot things. These managers make contact with their population around 110 times a day. They're basically identifying that somebody has changed their habits and they're getting them back on track. It's the idea of, oh, hey, Jeff, I see you haven't logged into mobile game in a week. Would you like a optional purchase to get back in? A free hit? A car? Bit weird. Fucking hell, this is so dark. And to us, this all seems mad, but how does it feel to them? Well, the VIPs are on board. These are VIPs who are super connected with their account manager. They know they're VIPs. They're not voices in a community or forum. They expect to get that level of service. They expect to be able to pick up that phone and speak to their account manager. They're entitled to that. They're thinking, I deserve this. I've become a VIP because of my loyalty, and therefore I'm just happy for my space here. It's like you can maybe see this happening in, oh yes, I made it into the famous gentleman's club in London. The other way in London they have the gentleman's clubs and the ladies' clubs that, I don't know, prime ministers and famous people end up in. Like, you can understand the VIP mindset here, but in this case, it's like, oh, imagine having your Candy Crush Saga. I know it's King, but you get my picture, like your Candy Crush VIP manager, your Farmville VIP account manager. It's madness. Now, I do know that Zynga do actually have multiple, literal casino games. I don't know how they cash out. I don't even know if they cash out, but I know that there is a Zynga Poker. So that's how that works. You just pay your way in, and if the way that you want to feel a degree of being a VIP, to feel that worth, to feel that respect, to command that, to be entitled to that, if you feel that that is something that you want to earn by just buying gems, not even real gems, I mean, this This makes you know those disgusting wrapper Rolexes that just have got like, or Pateks or whatever, they've just got like 1 trillion encrusted gems on them, and they're gaudy, disgusting things. This makes those look like a reasonable purchase. So to apply these lessons then, well, you gotta remember this is GDC. This is GDC mobile games. This is going to be aimed at the people who are in that industry. A lot of us saw, of course, our good buddy. It's funny, Torolf Jernstrom, he did a talk one day years ago, and yet everybody mentions him weekly. I think I've mentioned Torolf in like 2 or 3 recent videos. But why did Torolf seem so insane and batshit evil to people who play video games because they like video games and they like gameplay? The answer is because he wasn't talking to you. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to other people who are making mobile games who are trying to optimize the fuck out of their funnels. And that ultimately is why this is here. So, for as long as we have a situation like this, where you essentially just have the industry talking to the industry in a way that a journalist can actually get in, hopefully a journalist that's not Dean Takahashi, who's just going to be brown-nosing them all the time, then, of course, we all get to learn things, and we get to learn the tactics that may indeed be deployed against us. Now, it's one of those things. For me, it's about what's the value being delivered, right? In this case, I just feel that rinsing people in, like, a casino that you can't cash out of, I think that's just, like, really shitty bullshit. If there's a case where, like, somebody, say, on a Kickstarter is like, I really like this game, they have a $5,000 or $10,000 tier that involves a studio visit and some things, like, that I can kind of understand a bit more, because, like, you're helping fund somebody's game. Like, yeah, give them the studio tour. They're acting as, like, almost a little angel investor. That's totally cool. But, like, this situation where it's so hyper-optimized onto that spreadsheet, where we're having these cohort studies of VIPs and different ways to absolutely screw them and rinse them, well, there you go. And here's the deal. All that you see, folks, is more and more mobile game stuff make it on to premium games. I mean, as an example, Diablo Immortal Battle Pass. So if I bring up the Immortal Battle... Oh my god, they're on Season 11 already. Isn't that shocking? But if you were to look at the Battle Passes on Diablo Immortal, and I don't know if they'll actually have the thing here, but the way that it was that you basically had 2 different tiers of the Battle Pass. You could, like, buy the normal one and the premium one. It's not here anyway, but there was that idea, right? Like, you buy the normal tier or you buy the premium tier with more cosmetics. And that's something that's now moved into Call of Duty, where they're doing it with a Black Cell tier. Now, the thing is, and this is where it's fascinating, because it's about the Overton window. It's about what's reasonable. Because if you open up Call of Duty and you just see, like, I don't know, the Black Cell limousine tier Battle Pass for, I don't know, let's say $1,999 that comes with a bunch of things, and there's going to be a studio group tour in 2 months. I mean, people would kill them. But the point here is that the CEOs, the key decision makers, this is what they think about. And they will always try to do this in sneaky ways where we can't notice. And here, I think I have a fantastic example of this, right? And it's actually another banger from Activision Blizzard, but it is one that they learned from games like WildStar, that they learned from games like EVE Online. So let's just go to the BNet store. Wow. Because I know not everybody watches this channels came over from our Warcraft channel. And hey, look, I'll say, World of Warcraft, like, hats off to the dev team. They're doing a really awesome job right now. The game is actually in a better state. It's real good shit. But anyway, if I bring up token here. So here's a WoW token, right? Costs 17 quid. Let me grab the WoW token prices from wowtokenprices.com. And this is a way where you can get a hidden VIP player. So here we go, EU. 1 WoW token is 350,000 gold. So if you buy the token for 17 quid, then you can either click on that token and get 30 days of game time, or put it in the auction house and get 350,000 gold in game. So then people can play the game for free by just earning loads of gold and buying their WoW tokens. But what this basically means, though, and this is the thing that's interesting, somebody could be buying... now, I forget what the limit for token is, because there is actually a limit on how many tokens you can buy... Oh, look at this. So it used to be that a maximum of 36 every 24 months may be purchased for gold via the auction house. But as of 2017, when Battle Net Balance was added as a redeemable option, this restriction has been lifted. Right. That's interesting. But yes, okay, you can purchase 10 tokens a week, and you can only have a maximum of 10 tokens at once. So that basically means that every single week, you can spend £170 in World of Warcraft. Now, if a player, let's just say at the start of a new raid tier, right? Let's just say your name is Big Jimmy Bankman. Okay, Big Jimmy Bankman. He works in the bank in London. He, he earns 250 grand a year. His life expectancy has absolutely fallen into the shitter because of certain, white powders and alcohols that he's got to engage in every life with his horrible bankman lifestyle. And the only way he can escape from this living torment of being a city slicking bankman is indeed to play World of Warcraft with his mates. But at the start of a new raid tier, what about that BOE mythic gear that people could maybe put in the auction as well? I suppose actually they did put some restrictions on that. What about the best crafted gear? What about, any of that? Well, some of that stuff could be over 1 million gold, which, funny enough, is 3 to 4 tokens. Interesting. And that's an example of how World of Warcraft can, in effect, have that VIP player and unlock that form of monetization without overtly saying, "Give me £500 a year, please." And that is how the companies will slowly be trying to get people, by just saying, hey, top up your account, top up your account, top up your account. So I really do wonder in what way this could be done. And the thing is, you guys probably are watching this channel because you like you like to hear not just about the games, but also about the industry, the tactics of the industry, the strategies of the industry. You can probably see loads of ways that AAA games could go quite a bit harder and probably get away with it. Lifetime account value. Hey, are you a high lifetime account value person? You get a special whatever. They could do all that stuff. It's just, how can they sneak it in a way that core gamers will be okay with? Because ultimately, when you have an uncritical audience, you get this GDC talk from Zynga. So, I hope you've had fun learning about the darkest of the dark in video games and the hyper-optimization of revenue from customers, and I hope you enjoy the fact that VIP Zynga people, in fact, earn Take-Two Interactive more money than GTA Online. What a crazy scale. That's it for me. Have a brilliant day. I'll see you next time.